Good evening, friends. Today we'll take up this topic of Western political thought. So, when we start with Western political thought, what we need to keep in mind is that this topic is starts with politics. That is, politics is derived from the term policia. This is a Greek term, and basically, police is the best manifestation, most concrete manifestation of state. So whatever belongs to state belongs to politics. Now in this context, it is better to define state first, better than to proceed ahead. What is state? State is basically the most self-sufficient unit of governance. That is anything which is capable of defending or protecting itself and providing other services to its society can be called a state, any entity. Okay. So anything which is related to governance or state will come in politics. Okay. So now when we are starting with Western political thought, see any thought would always be in reference to age and place or location. So when we speak of any thinker, we'll always talk about the age of the thinker and the place where he was there. For example, Kautilya, when we speak of Kautilya, his that period when he was giving his thoughts was ancient period, and the location, the place was India. Similarly, when we talk about Plato, again, the period for Plato is also ancient, but his location is Athens, which is a part of Greece. Similarly, we can take any other thinker. Let's take Machiavelli. Machiavelli is not easy to place in any age. He is he belongs to the period of transition, but still we can call basically Machiavelli a medieval thinker, and his place would be Italy. So I hope I make it clear that any thought, any thinker should be placed in context of the age which he belongs to and the place which he belongs to. So when we proceed next, first we should divide Western political thought into periods which we are going to study. See, firstly, Western political thought starts with ancient period. Then we move ahead to medieval, then to modern, and finally, what we have now is the post modern period. So we'll take these one by one so that we have a basic idea about all these ages, and then we'll proceed to each thinker one by one. So when we talk about ancient period, in the ancient period, the unit of governance is city state. For example, in Europe, it is Athens, which is called a city state. Plato and Aristotle belongs to Athens. And in India, if you want to compare, the period had the political unit which were called village republics. These are important because these are also mentioned in the old NCRT. So, village republics and Kautilya belong to this period. He had the most prominent role in propelling Chandragupta Maurya to the throne, displacing Nandas. He, he was instrumental in establishing the Maurya dynasty. So, now moving ahead, when we talk about medieval period basically is the period when there was supremacy of religion. So, here, church played a very influential role in the affairs of state, and the unit of governance was empire. For example, the Roman Empire, which was established by Alexander. Now, moving ahead, we have the modern period. See, the modern period is very important for us because most of our thinkers belong to this period. So, the entity which belongs to modern period is the nation state. Unlike medieval period, now there is complete separation of religion and politics. And politics or state. Now, if you'll see, Machiavelli belongs to the middle period. Like we will be seeing ahead that he his thoughts are basically of conflict because he wants to separate ethics from politics, but again he cannot reject religion altogether because of influences of his age. So when we talk about modern period, it starts with the Treaty of Westphalia. Now, Treaty of Westphalia, 1648, it established the principle of sovereignty of state. If you have studied polity from Lakshmikant, you should be familiar with the concept of sovereignty of state. This means that state does not have any authority from which it takes orders. State is supreme in its own sphere. So this period, the main characteristics, the main features of this period are Renaissance, Reformation, Enlightenment. This is the age of science, and the basis of state here is language, or you can call culture. So when we move ahead, we now have the era which is called post-modern. So what is the definition? What is the defining feature of post-modern period? Post-modern period basically is the era of regionalism, which is international in nature. Also, we have supranational governance. What is supranational governance? Any institution which is above state is called supranational. For example, we have EU, European Union. The EU Parliament, the Assembly, ECB, European Central Bank, these institutions are can be said to be above the level of state. Similarly, we have United Nations, we have we have different institutions on the basis of a specific entity. For example, we have WHO for health. Similarly, we have IMF, World Bank, and other institutions. So this is the postmodern period. So basically, this was the introduction of political science, and now in the next video we start with the thinkers. So please stay tuned.